Hey everybody, Happy New Year. Dave here in my Jeep Natalia. I'm going to make a little video which will entail just changing out the front speakers, the dash speakers on a YJ. Probably one of the hardest vehicles out there to change the front speakers on. There's really good videos already that are on YouTube about changing these speakers, but I've watched those and I'm going to replicate them. And if I do anything that's different or easier, well, then it'll be a benefit to any of the watchers out there. So I will put this video together and hopefully someone gets something out of it. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I'm changing to these little Arc Audio, just little speakers, basically little 4x6s. They're going to have much better sound quality. The dash speakers there are the hardest things to get out. We're going to actually be taking out this bolt on both sides, dropping the window forward so that we can undo the rest of them in a series that are behind the dash. And that'll give the dash the capability to come forward about 4 inches so we can actually get in there, change them out, and then put everything back together. So first off, some of you might have noticed that I have my hardtop propped up inside. It's just already undid all the bolts and it's propped up with some foam there because in fact we will be removing the Torx that are holding the window frame to the roll bar. They'll be gone as well, so we'll be taking those out. I may not actually be showing you when I'm removing them because I don't have a camera stand. It might be pretty hard to do one-handed. I will try though. And when I was filming earlier, you may have seen my little crazy tape job here. My hardtop is really finicky. It has to sit exactly in the right place. I in fact have almost cracked these tips off because it wasn't sitting completely properly. So I simply put some painter's tape on, drew myself a little line, took a box cutter, cut it. So when I drop it back down, I'm gonna get it exactly where it should be. Yes, I'm OCD. Hey, so as you can see, I yanked my doors just because they're in the way. It makes it a little bit simpler just to get at the bolts. I already have run into one problem. I removed the torque head from here. I also didn't mention you have to take them out of the visor on the one side here, so it'll clear the this part of the roll bar, the gusseting here that gets bolted in when you fold the window forward. But I already have stripped that torque head right there. They obviously have never been removed before. They were in there extremely solid. I managed to crack the ones on the other side open, or off I should say, but they were really tough. So now I think I'm gonna have to resort to maybe drilling that one right there out. I will get back to you. So all right, haven't drilled that top torque out yet, but I did attempt to take this one out right here, and it would not go out just by manpower. So I had to crack it with my impact, and it did come out, thankfully. So that's a good thing. The other side did as well. All right, so I drilled out that broken torque head. So as you can see, the window's now folded down. It's kind of interesting because up in the dash area, not this part of the dash, but there's these couple little cutouts here to access the wiper motors or wiper assemblies. Actually, it isn't even wiper assemblies. It's looks like it is. No, my bad. It does have to do with the wipers. Anyway, those two holes over time managed to capture a few little, I don't really want to call them treasures, but whoever previously had the Jeep, I'm in the Okanagan. The previous owner was down at the coast, presumably Vancouver, but everything from BC ferries tickets, broken glass, so there's at least one broken windshield, tons of parking stubs and receipts from in-park parking, a little flathead, which I can always use, and one ticket for a Canucks game, suite holder parking. Interesting what you find when you're disassembling your YJ. So our next step is actually going to be to take out these 3 torque heads right here. They're T25s. on mine at least, should be on all YJs, I imagine. After they're out, we're gonna go along and take all of these out so we can free the dash up. As I say, really hard for me to do one-handed, so I'm gonna do those and get right back to you. So just a quick correction, I said T25. These are T27s. I don't want anyone to make the mistake I just did. I actually snapped a T25 torque head, taking this one out right here. I should have checked. It actually felt too sloppy. I was stupid for not checking it out right away. Anyway, just want to make that correction in case I don't catch it when I edit. And also, mine's an auto, so I've actually tie strapped my shifter back, because when I undo the rest to make this dash drop, it would be kind of holding it up. It already rubs all the time. I don't know if you can see that spot right there. So just a quick little note. Okay, so the old dinosaur of a speaker is out. It's gonna be nice to see these gone. They do have a different connector than the new ones do. There's the new one. And, it's just a different 2-pin connector. That's no big deal. Just a little bit of wiring. Change up this clip right here and be able to get them mounted in there. Might have to actually space them because the cone, or the tweeter, I guess I'd call it, is sticking forward. So I'm gonna have to put some little either washers or little spacers in there, and then probably put some foam around the perimeter too, so I don't lose sound out the sides. Gonna do that, and we'll get back to you. Hey, so a quick note. The other speakers I was gonna put in did not have the proper mounting holes. So they went back to the stereo store and picked up these Kenwood Excellons. They're a nice little unit, and they do have the proper mounting holes right here. And I actually took a gasket off of the old speakers, these are the old ones, and the gasket just sits underneath this paper protective filter cover. So I took it off and actually siliconed that gasket on, because the cone speaker, or tweet, whatever you want to call it, sits above the surface of the speaker, and I needed that extra, basically 1/8 of an inch to raise it up so that it won't be rubbing on this part on the back side of the dash. So it should work well. I'm actually gonna put them in right now. It shouldn't be too hard, and I'm actually going to, believe it or not, I'm gonna put Loctite on the little lugs in the back, because I don't want the bolts spinning off, because obviously doing all this is not fun. So I'm gonna put Loctite on. I don't think I'll ever be going back there again. These speakers will probably outlast me. So I'm gonna get on that right now. So I just wanted to show about how much room you can get out of the dash being completely disconnected on the passenger side. Driver's side is tighter. I think I pointed that out already, but the speaker is in there. It was the right mounting holes, as you can see. You can see I already stuck some red Loctite on there. Just have to spin these nuts on, tighten them up, which won't be too hard. They're pretty simple. They're basically 11/32 little nut to put on. So I'm gonna get those on. Can't really see the front. I sort of can if I get out of the way of my floodlight, but now the little tweet speaker doesn't touch the steel part of the dash, so I'm happy with that. I'm just going to secure that up and work on the other side. So passenger side is in, all tightened up, and I came over to the driver's side. I want to show you about how much room you can get. I'm saying that's probably, you might stretch 3 inches out of it, but that's enough to get the speaker in there. Just wanted to show you basically how far we can get it apart. I'll save you me trying to put it in there, because like I say, I don't have a stand for my camera. Probably save you a lot of swearing and maybe some cut hands. Anyway, gonna give it a shot. Okay, so a little change of plans. I am gonna try and show you what I'm doing here. I think it's kind of important. So I've brought a little ladder over, set my phone on a few pieces of random things I found here in the shop, hoping it stays upright, and I'm hoping you'll be able to see past my
hands as I kind of try and maneuver the little 4x6 speaker between the threaded posts there. I'll see what I can do. She's that magnet is sticking pretty good to the Jeep, but it should go between and it should clear if we can get it to go through. There we go. And then turn it without puncturing anything and get it onto the proper. Oh, perfect. Jeez. Got it right in there. Let me put my fingers at the back so you can see. So it's in there. Like I say, you get just enough room. It's probably 2.5, 3 inches to kind of fish it in there and get it in place. So I will have to stop filming. Well, maybe I don't have to. Oh yeah, I will, because I said I was going to Loctite that and I left it on the other side of the Jeep. So I'm just going to Loctite the little pins and before I put the tiny little nuts onto there, and then we'll get back to some other filming. Hopefully that speaker stays there. Perfect. Doesn't take much. Pretty tough to get to the inner ones, but I'm going to give it a shot. Pretty hard to do. I'm gonna be creative and just put on the bolts. So a little tip, I took the speaker back out because the rear pins, the ones back there that I have the nut on already, were almost impossible to get my fat hands in and thread up those nuts. So took the speaker back out, put the 2 rear nuts on. Like I say, I got Loctite on them. Not focusing too well here, but anyway, so they'll be in place because the speakers I have, they don't have closed, well they do, but the slots that they're going into are these outside slots, not the closed circles. So I'll just be able to put it in, turn it, slide it into the pre-cut slots, and then I can put the nuts on the outside too, and then tighten all 4. They are in. Hooray. It's about time. Yeah, my hands barely fit in there, but got her done. It's nice to get them in finally. There's enough clearance in there. Basically the little cone or tweeter. I don't know which the terminology is. I'm not an electronics guy, but it's not rubbing on the metal. It's got like just millimeters, so it's nice that it clears. It's going to be much improved for sound. I'm going to have the speakers in my sound bar, and I have a nice amp which is going underneath the rear seat as well. It's a slimline amp, powered sub I should say. Yeah, so the process is going to start now. Going to be putting back in all of the bolts that go in. Well, not that one till the window folds back down, but all the ones along here in the ridge line between the dash and the window frame. Gonna get all those in, lift the window back up, and then get these into place, and then the ones that are up on the gusset in the roll bar into the window framing, and replace these ones on the visor as you saw when I took them off. Gonna start buttoning it all up, then I'll be able to drop the hard top back down, and basically just get everything all tightened up. So I've gone ahead and just put in the little screws along the ridge there, but you can see there's a series of holes going down. That's where the T27 torque head screws are going. There's a few down there. And then there is 3 over here, 1, 2, 3 on each side, so 6, and there's 5 up top. Here's a total of 11 of those, which are going back in. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to do them by hand though, so I don't over tighten them. So I'll be turning this off for a second. All right, dash all reattached. All of those torque heads are all back in. I took the time actually, again, it's just my OCD nature. I took some wet cloths, I wiped all this out, the frame down. Yeah, I know it's a Jeep, ha ha ha. It's supposed to be dirty, but the old girl needed a little bath. Might as well start her off fresh before I put the window frame and glass back up, which I'm going to do now. So with the window frame back up in place, the next thing to do is to basically take all the bolts. This one here, big Allen, or sorry, it's a torque head, will be going in. I'm just going to put it in loosely because I'm going to start it, and then I'm going to go up here and off the gussets off the roll bar, I'm going to thread them in loosely and get them in as well. So I can just slowly tighten them all at once on both sides. Put these little guys in later for the sunshade because it doesn't need to be done until the end. But you want to make sure you do your window up properly. Take the time to put those bolts in, thread them properly, don't strip them. As you saw earlier in my video, I actually had broke the one off, had to drill it out. Luckily it came out nicely without wrecking any threads. So I'm going to put these in and just slowly start tightening it down. So we're all buttoned down. Those are all back in. The gussets on the roll bar connected to the window frame. Sun visor one's back in. Everything is all back in. So now I'll be able to take the foam pads there that I have mounted above the sound bar and the crossbar on the roll bar to drop the hard top back down. We'll be just re-screwing the hard top into the frame. You can see the holes line up. And the ones in the back over there, the fiberglass, into the bodywork. So I'm going to button that all up. Then we'll just do a quick little video after I throw the doors back on. It's looking good. So there we go. Doors are on, hard tops on, and speakers are in. I'm looking forward to getting the rest of my stereo system in so I can hear some good music for a change and also have the ability to talk hands-free. I'm always holding my phone, shouldn't be doing that. If you like the video, please hit that like button. If you feel I might be putting out more Jeep content that you're interested in, then please subscribe. If you're not interested, then don't subscribe. That's totally okay. Don't need another useless name on the list of content creators that you're not watching. Anyway, I hope that you have a great day. Remember, when you're out wheeling, haul out all your Jeep parts, leave nothing behind except for tread marks. Cheers.